Today I'm presenting about one of our simple solutions that we implemented in Nepal, but it really turned out to be very good. And I've not gone into much detail of it, like I was told that it's a basic 3 minutes presentation. So I'll just try to show that how the simple solution was also difficult to implement and how we got the output. So before that, I would like to tell something about Nepal. It's a developing country. We have like comparatively poor infrastructure and the topography. It has a variety of lands, right from Tarai to the mountains, and most of the areas are remote and agriculture based. So it is very difficult to reach to people because of the lands and the low literacy rate, infrastructure, and most of them dependent on agriculture. So the problem with education system was that it is quite unorganized there. The exams are very late, and on top of that, the results were even more late. So that was a big reason for students for frustration. Even in my case, I got my actual mark sheets after 1 month. And most of the students in Nepal, they actually come to India to study, and the exams are already late 2 months, and they take a provisional admission, and then they have to return because they don't get their mark sheets on time. But surprisingly, Nepal is also a South Asian emerging market, and the mobile penetration has reached 68%. So the topography, the geographical condition, and the mobile penetration. So that was the main thing which we tried to tap. So there was a problem for the students, obviously, as I mentioned. Like they had a mental pressure when they didn't get their results or marks, or when they didn't, in Nepal there are regular strikes and they want to study outside Nepal. So because of the mark sheets being late, they couldn't do it. And also the examination board, they printed results on newspapers, and they had to pay a very high amount to the newspaper. So there was a problem from the exam board as well, and problems for the student as well. But what was the challenge for us for implementing result via SMS? The challenge was not just the technology. This is the major challenge that I think most of the developing countries will face. The first challenge is dealing with people who are reluctant to change in technology and institutions. That is the biggest challenge that we face. People, like, even if I talk to the management, even if they agree, the individuals will not agree. So that was the first problem. Local partnerships. Like, I have seen a lot of ideas which are successful in India, and I can launch it in Nepal. It sounds very simple, but it is easier said than done. What matters more is how you execute it, and local partnership is another important part of it. The permissions. You don't get permissions easily, the policies, and that are another big problem. And access to data. You know, the examination board, they were printing data of 4 lakh students, and they were still using Excel formats or DBase 4, and sometimes they had data in the normal text format. Imagine entire mark sheet of 4 lakh students in normal text format. So that was another problem. And then yes, educating the end user. Like outreach is another big problem. You launch a service, but when people, like where there's low literacy rate, you need to educate them. And that requires another big marketing budget. And in a small country like Nepal, where the volume is less, the first mover has to spend a lot in educating the user. That is another big problem, the outreach problem. So what we had to do is, so what we did is we provide entire mark sheets, seat plans, notices, everything via SMS. So for that, our core expertise was SMS, but we had to build additional systems for people. We had to build databases for them. We had to develop APIs, and then to handle the queries, like we serve around 400 SMS per second during the results. We had to have that good infrastructure and servers, and there was a lot of congestion in the local networks as well. So we had to solve all those problems, and we conducted a lot of education campaigns. Like in a small country like Nepal, we have 137,000 Facebook fans. So we had to take a lot of effort to educate people to check results via SMS. And the exam department was also reluctant because they had errors in their mark sheet, and they said like if we deliver it by SMS, later people will come and fight with us that I got my marks as 80%, but now the mark sheet shows 70%. So they don't want to adopt to technology. And the outcome was really good. We receive 4 million queries every year. And in 3 years, we have served more than 10 million SMSs in results. And the biggest thing is, the biggest board of Nepal, from this year, they have stopped publishing results in newspapers. Earlier, they paid rupees 6 per Shimal number to be published on newspaper, but now they don't publish it in newspaper. So this is the biggest change and achievement. Now, entire nation checks results via SMS. And the business model is very simple. We charge rupees 3 per SMS. We receive 4 million queries every year. And rupees 3 is nominal as per the survey. They are even willing to pay higher, but this helps us keep sustain. And our future plans are like, we are planning to introduce IVR for the results, first thing. Second thing, if like these are just the bigger results, but we plan to do every result. We did one seat plan. Like normally what happens is, I have an exam today, and I have to go to the exam center and find my seat. For that, I leave home 1 hour early and have a mental pressure that I need to know where my seat is. We just did it by SMS and it got a good response. People could check there like this block, this number, this is the seat. That saved their time. So we try to do a lot of things by SMS, not just the bigger results. And if there are like more number of results, we also plan to do in a subscription model where we charge students monthly. And there we can have another revenue model where we can have some education alerts coming in, depending upon the qualification or the level of the student.
Thanks, Amit. I think we're seriously running out of time now. So any questions for... Great then. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think with that, we conclude this module out here. So, any comments from the chair and the jury expert?
Yeah, I just had a few. How much time do you have? 1 minute? So the first thing I noticed is that everything seems to be focused. Our session is on education, but we are focusing on skills and jobs, which is okay if that's the need. But I think technology as a tool can do far better and go much deeper than just enabling jobs. So maybe at some point, once your revenue models are in place and you have a good number of people, maybe you could take the next step, which I personally think is far more self-actualizing, for lack of a better word, than just helping people get jobs, which I don't deny is important. The second thing, this is a personal thing, and I say it almost every time, in almost every session that I sit in, is that I find most of the presentations very boring. And when you put something out there and you repeat it, or when you're reciting something that's already written out there, it doesn't engage us as much as, for instance, a passionate, intense chat, like the one which in this case was the sound of silence. The sound of silence, who did that? Yeah, I thought that was a far more passionate, and I was far more engaged than in all others, where I think when you're using technology, you need to also look at who you are talking to. So if I personally, and I don't know about others, for me, it doesn't engage me at all. So I don't know how your students or how the people who you are targeting would be engaged. So that is just a small critical point. And the last thing is, all these reminded me of one story that I had read in school when I was very small, called The Fun They Had. I don't know if any of you remembers it. It was a science fiction story. New Horizons was the book. And it was a short story on how a child is looking into some history, studying history, at a time when all education, all sports, all interaction is coming to him from a screen. And it just reminded me that perhaps how true that was, that each student can sit with his handheld or with his computer or wherever and get all the education and anything that he needs without having people sitting next to him talking, engaging, fighting, learning, screaming, laughing next to him. So I don't know that how the texture of education or the texture of skills development will work out once the entire planet is hooked on to handhelds. With that partly cynical view, pardon me, that's an occupational hazard. I say I really enjoyed this session very much. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
If I can add to a cynical view, this reminds me of a sentence which I think almost sparked or tweeted, I don't know. It resonates very well with me, so I'm saying this across, is that intelligence without intellect is like mules carrying gold. So technology will bring us a lot of intelligence, but wouldn't bring us intellect. So unless you are intellectual, you wouldn't be able to use that gold that you have across. So I think very well put across.
I think that's the end out here. I think there's some finalist certificates.